Hey, what's up Aquamigos? So if you saw my last video, we actually got the bottom drain down into the pond. It's down there underneath that piece of wood. And today my dad's going to help me and we're going to concrete that in there. And we're probably also gonna start filling in the dirt around the pipe. And just as a side note, the underlayment and pond liner were delivered, so I have those now. Maybe I'll show you guys those a little bit later. But for now, let's go ahead and get started with this. To start off, I'm just going to apologize for some of the lighting in these clips. It was pretty sunny and we got some pretty crazy shadows around the area where we were mixing concrete. But anyways, nonetheless, we had to mix concrete and there was a small problem with the concrete that we were using. The last time it rained, a bunch of my concrete got wet. Even although it was covered by plastic, the wind blew some of the plastic off and the concrete still got wet. And some of the concrete that was sitting on the ground also got wet just because the ground got wet when it rained. But luckily, most of the concrete was still good. So I sifted through the concrete to sort out any hard, unusable pieces and throw them away. And as you'll see, we covered the bottom drain with plastic to keep it clean while we filled the hole around it with concrete. We also decided to cover the bottom of the screw holes with tape so that concrete wouldn't get inside them. And to keep the inside of the pond clean, we mixed the concrete on the outside of the pond and brought it down to the pond in buckets. And I know this may seem more time consuming and tedious, which it was, but I do think it was worth the extra effort because we were able to keep the inside of the pond clean. My dad built a small barrier using some wooden stakes to prevent the concrete from flowing into the trench. And once again, just like in my last video, a major shout out to my dad because he helped me out a ton in this video as well. Alright guys, it looks like we just need a little bit more until we're level with the bottom drain. So according to the instructions that came with the bottom drain, it sounds like we can fill up the concrete all the way to the top of the bottom flange. It even says you could fill it to the top of the top flange. But we just want to make sure that we can still put our screws through if we have the concrete all the way up to the bottom of the flange. I put tape underneath so it won't go up inside the hole. But we're going to just like test fit it right now just to be sure. All right, how should we do this? Should I just put this on top and then you see how, oh yeah. Oh, okay. Alright guys, so we figured out what we're going to do. We're going to leave the top flange on with the screws, and then we're going to get the concrete. I think we're going to do level with the bottom flange. So that's the next move. Okay guys, so we're short one bag of concrete, so I gotta run out and buy another one really quick. So I got the concrete and I'm on my way home, and I also found out earlier today that today is like the shortest day of the year, meaning it's going to get dark like earlier than normal tonight, or this evening I should say. And yeah guys, we're kind of racing the daylight here. Alright guys, so we finished installing the bottom drain. Check it out, I think it's looking pretty good. So I think that's all we're going to do today. Tomorrow we're going to have to come back and start filling this up with dirt. And also we need the other ends of the pipes back there to come up out of the ground. And we'll be off to a pretty good start. The next thing I need to start thinking about after that is where I'm going to install the skimmer exactly and get that sorted out. And then we can start with the liner. Hey Aquamigos, so it's the next day now. Let's take a look at the bottom drain. It's pretty crazy because the concrete is actually still pretty wet. If this was in the summertime, this would have been completely dry by now. It's not like super wet, but you could definitely feel that it's still moist. So the goal for today is going to be to fill this area in with dirt, and then on the other side of the retaining wall, we'll have those vertical pipes coming up. We're gonna install those today. So yeah, that's what we should be able to get done today. Let's get started. Here I am bringing dirt over to the pond to cover the pipes in the trench. I did this for a good 20 minutes or so before my dad came out and took a look at my work and told me I wasn't putting enough dirt underneath the pipe. We ended up having to take all of the dirt out that I just put in, and we had to start over again. Luckily this time my dad took more control over the situation and made sure that all the voids underneath the pipes were packed in. I mostly just brought him dirt down to the bottom of the pond. I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at my dad compacting this dirt. Check this out. So first he pours some loose dirt on top, kind of spreads it out with his hands, and then he grabs this sledgehammer and just kind of like stamps it down. The problem we were having earlier is that there were like voids underneath the pipe that didn't have any dirt in there. So we had to make sure to get the dirt all underneath, and then it's all compacted on top. And then hopefully we won't get so much settling once the liner's on top and there's actually water in the pond. Alright guys, I just wanted to explain what we're doing next. For this next length of pipe over here underneath the tunnel, we figured that it would be easier to place sand under the pipe than the dirt, because the sand will be much easier to kind of maneuver underneath and around the pipe than the dirt. And this is just all-purpose sand that we're using. We kept packing in dirt, and finally we cut our vertical pipes. First we did the 1/2-inch airline, and then we did the 4-inch pipe. I had to get down into the hole on the other side of the tunnel in a very uncomfortable position. I set up my GoPro on the inside of the tunnel to kind of get a view of what I was doing, and I had to dig away all the dirt away from the openings of the pipes inside the hole so nothing would fall into them, and then of course clean the pipes with isopropyl alcohol. We decided it would be easier to do the airline first, so I put the primer and glue on the 90-degree angle inside the hole, and my dad applied the primer and glue to the pipe on the outside of the pond. We then put the 1/2-inch pipe into the hole and connected it to the 90-degree angle. And then we repeated this process for the 4-inch pipe. If you want to see how we got to this stage of the pond build, check out some of my previous videos. Okay guys, so I'm not sure how well that turned out on camera, but pretty much. We got the 4-inch pipe and the 1/2-inch air pipe glued at the bottom, coming straight up. My dad's just taping off the top of this pipe, and also the other pipe is also taped off, just so like nothing can fall in there. And next we're probably going to start filling this in, and also fill in the rest of the tunnel down here. We then added sand into the hole because it would easily conform around those 90-degree PVC angles, but then we decided to leave it alone and finish the inside of the pond. And we just kept compacting dirt until the tunnel was closed from the inside of the pond. Alright guys, so here's where we're leaving off for today. We got this whole side of the tunnel plugged up. We're going to do the other side in my next video. We decided to give those PVC pipes a little bit of time to dry before we completely covered them up with dirt. But I feel like we're making some really great progress. You know, I gotta get the liner in before next Tuesday. Today is Thursday, the 22nd, I believe. Next Tuesday it's going to rain, so I want to get that covered up, get the liner in before next Tuesday. So it's like all systems go right now. So anyways guys, I'm going to do all my Aquamigos shoutouts in my next video. If you guys did like this video, as usual, I'd really appreciate it if you went down there and gave this video a like. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also that bell notifications button so you can stay up to date with my pond build progress. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'll go ahead and put my handle right here. It's @YT_Tobias. Thank you guys for watching until the end, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Peace.